What's up? What's up, everyone? What's up? Welcome to the live stream. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone has had a good week. I'm tired, right? Usually I try to start a little bit earlier, but I mean around 9 is a good time. It's just I just got home, right? I just got home from work, so I'm tired. But hey, I gotta hang out with my bros, right? I gotta hang out with my brothers. I gotta hang out with my friends. So I gotta make time for my friends. I'm making time for my friends, right? I'm making time for my brothers. So even though I'm tired, right? Just got off of work. I just got off of work. I ate a little bit. Didn't get off of work too long ago, probably about a little over half an hour to an hour ago. Ate a little bit, and now trying to hang out with my brother. All right, let's get started. So recently, some two guys who will show it, right? Who was trying to have a debate or, a civil discourse on campuses. These guys are going around schools or other places just to, debate ideas with real people. Well, they tried to go on an HBCU campus to have this debate, right? To have this discussion, to have this civil discourse. And it didn't go well. So we'll check that out. We're going to be watching a bunch of videos on it. So I think it will be interesting. All right. So the first of a few videos. Okay. So let's check this out.
Athenians, they would take them slave because they're different. They're the outgroup. They're the Athenians. They're inferior, right? So you can't stop that racism, but what you can do is make it illegal to institutionalize it by saying, you can't allow you have to allow everybody to eat at your restaurant. You can't not admit people based on their color. You can't prioritize people based on their color, etc. And I would say getting rid of DEI works towards that objective. Yeah, I would say that the most recent example of America being great was the first term of Donald Trump. And then we had 4 years of Joe Biden in chaos, and then Trump is president again. So this is his campaign.
And this is the thing, right? This image, having a civil discussion, just having a dialogue is the importance. This is a thing where it is the purpose of freedom of speech right here. Is so we can talk to each other. So there's no one stopping you from saying whatever you want to say. But we can have a discussion, a peaceful, civil, respectful discussion between two people who have different ideologies. This is what we're missing. This is what Charlie Kirk was trying to promote. This is what I believe right now, with how so many people are so divisive, so many people are so divided. We are missing this. We need more of this, right? More of us just having a dialogue. Whether you agree or not, it don't matter. If you can't find common ground, you agree to disagree. You hear each other out. You don't agree with it. Cool. You move on.
Yeah, come down here.
Why is that out here?
That was America Great.
Hell no.
Well, something that all of us have benefited from are the 2017 Trump Jobs and Tax Act. Regardless of what your skin color is, regardless of your gender, this is one thing that focuses on your income. So regardless of race, any of those factors is just your income. Individuals that earn between $15,000 to $50,000 receive a tax break anywhere between 18 to 26%. If you earn between $50,000 and $100,000, which is the average American median income, you got a tax break between 15 to 17%. That means, let's say you make $100,000, you probably saw about a $15,000 tax rebate just because of what Trump passed. Now, let's look at median household income. It increased to the highest it's ever been, $5,000 higher than under Obama's administration, simply because Americans were able to put more money in their pockets. I think we can all agree here.
Jamie, what's up? Now, it's not like, you can like or dislike anyone you want. My thing is that we should at least be able to talk to each other. We should at least be able to talk to each other and not want to kill each other. Yo, Laughing Man, what's up, my brother?
Regardless of what our race is that when we have more money in our pockets, we like that. We can do more things with that. We can invest into things, right? We can enjoy more stuff like that. So I think that is a great example of how Trump's policies, a lot of people say Trump is racist. Well, hey, his policies are definitely not racist. So you can claim whatever you want to about him, but if he was a racist person, he would not allow policies to help everybody. He would probably make them where they would be solely exclusive for white people or something like that. Another great thing is all presidents do this, but, constantly I hear that President Trump is racist. Well, let's look at it.
Jamie, you know what? This is a thing where I respect your opinion. I will say this, okay? I look at it as, I think we wouldn't be better better off without certain types of people, with certain groups of people. I think we're better off with certain types of ideologies, right? Ideologies that are hurting us, that is not what we need. We don't need the ideology that's hurting us. The ideology of victimhood, right? Victimhood. Ideology of lack of accountability, blaming everyone else but yourself. Shit like that. Always thinking that you're the victim. Always thinking that, you know what? It's the government. It's the white man. It's someone else that is holding you back, not yourself. I think those ideologies are harmful to people.
HBCUs. He funded them more than the previous president did. Now Biden came in, he funded it even more than the previous president did with Trump. But again, we're comparing Trump to Obama, and Trump came in and what is that about? How much more HBCU funding did Trump provide than Obama? It's hundreds of millions of dollars more. So this is a specific policy enacted by Trump's first administration that has overwhelmingly helped for HBCUs.
I never remember you said that question. I never remember you saying that question. Ooh, how long it took me? I don't know. It didn't took me that long, right? It didn't took me that long. Let's say, accumulating everything took me ages, right? Accumulating everything took me ages. It took me ages to do it. But I mean, building the bookcase, maybe a week, right? Let's say combined time schedule, a week. Setting things up, I would say about a week, right?
How would that make you?
See, this is the problem. They were having a respectful civil discourse, respectful civil conversation. And then why even do this? Why even go this? Like, they were talking to each other, learning from each other, seeing if you could find some common ground, or, you know what? Again, agree to disagree.
Yes. You do know, like, they're like the most like employed of everybody. And they take the job you don't want to work.
There are plenty of Americans who graduate high school every year without a high school diploma. There are plenty of Americans who graduate without a high school diploma every year. Those people can be employed.
So we got a little work. And we're hearing stuff like this from the crowd.
We're just having conversations. The signs that we had. Okay, then if nobody wants to talk, they don't have to talk. We're not forcing anyone to talk. We were having a civil discussion with the person who was up here. We've been to lots of schools. We were at Clemson, we went to GSU.
Hello? Hey, what's up? We're at Nashville right now. I'm kind of in a big crowd with cops. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Yeah, like 1 second.
This is a thing where I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care what your religion, what your orientation is. Why can't we have a civil conversation? It shouldn't turn out to fighting. It shouldn't turn out to killing. It shouldn't turn out to beatings. We should be able to talk to each other, have civil discourse, right? We should be able to talk to each other. This shows you weakness right here. Evil Eddie, what's up, my brother? I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. Noodles, what's up, my brother? What's up, my brother? Glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are here. Thank you guys for being here.
Signs except for, oh, there's another one. There's another one being stolen right there. Yeah. So basically all of our signs have been stolen so far.
All your signs, how do you feel?
It's not very nice, you know?
You don't have anything else to say?
I mean, we were trying to talk.
Why don't you say all the things that were on your sign?
Well, we were trying to talk.
I don't think you're still your mama got the chicken from Jamaicans, man. You know your food will be shining.
It's a state school. I funded the school with my taxes. With my taxes?
No, you know you wouldn't have anything. That's all you need. You better not be black.
There goes our other signs. There goes our other signs. They've stolen everything from us. They've stolen everything. This is crazy.
Yeah, that helps the stereotype. Steal from people. That helps the stereotype. Let's steal from people. You know what? Where we can't talk to each other, right? We can't have a civil discourse, a debate of ideas. Let's steal. Let's steal from the white man. Because we can't debate the white man. We can't have a civil discourse with the white man. Let's steal from them. That's a great way to, you know, disprove the stereotype. They're not good. Yeah, this is the thing. When you act like this, you are just a bad. This is why I've said this before. Why the black community does not care about their public image. They don't care about their public image. Right? You can't control your emotions. How about have respectful conversations with each other? You have a different view? Great. I have a different view. Let's debate. Let's have a civil discourse. Let's talk to each other like human beings. Let's respect each other like human beings. Let's have a conversation. Let's not go crazy like this. Let's not be emotional like this.
All your knowledge is cooking, bro.
Random person is
Y'all need us, bro. The Greeks made science, the Greeks made math.
Y'all know who
Y'all know who the true people is. Y'all know who the fake people from, bro.
No. Is it your satchel?
Like I said, the Jamaicans make your chicken, bro. The Italians make your fish, bro. Yo, how much hair is done by the Dominicans, bro? The pork food. The pork food that chicken cooking, bro.
black people just got long conversations, bro.
Well, we're watching the equipment right now, guys. All of our signs been stolen. They've been yelling at us, screaming at us. We got police and security around us, trying to figure out what the hell to do. This has been kind of crazy today. But yeah.
That's a screwdriver. We should start this.
Oh, somebody's.
Hey, yo. Where's the
It's been crazy here. All we did was put up a few signs and then people went crazy. Absolutely crazy so far.
We created on another. We created on science. We created on math. Y'all need to sit and not steal. Y'all didn't do anything to your religion, to your faith, to your understanding about life. I took you guys to make. All you politicians. You know they were, you just lying to yourself with their spirit.
I've already talked to them. They're leaving. Okay. Then we'll talk. They're leaving now. All right.
Wait.
Back up so you can get a statement.
That is the thing, right? That's the problem. It's the herd mindset, herd mentality. Okay? Why can't, it's like, this is the problem. You have disagreements? Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation.
Wait. What are you doing?
Where we parked.
What is this? I'm gonna keep this out. Actually, no, it's okay.
Hey, Cap. We got an open space right here. Yeah, let's go this way.
That's the craziness. That's the craziness. But let's get some reactions from certain people, some other people. Let's get some reactions. Now let's get a reaction from Anton Daniels.
You will experience more hostility on a HBCU with an opposing view, or as a white person with an opposing view, than any space that you would go in that you would deem racist from white people all day long. I think that all that camera did and all that did, ironically enough, would showcase the level of racism and hatred that black people are imparting into their kids. These are fucking 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are evil and angry. These are fucking right out of high school evil people that have never experienced anything racist in their life. These little motherfuckers wasn't even born before 2000. Not one of these little niggas was born before 2000. And they evil as fuck. That's crazy. That shows you the level of programming in my mind and from my perspective that's really happening in our households, how feminine and angry the dog. I mean, I don't know how much more obvious it is that we are teaching hatred. We are teaching hatred. None of those kids, none of those people that was on that campus was born before 2000. Not one of them. And they were purely evil. They were purely evil at white people. That's
funded by the government, though.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, like, everybody teaches hatred.
They indoctrinating it. And my household's very anti-white. And if I didn't think for myself and get to know people for myself, I probably would have been just like that as an adult, as a black woman, the 92%, honestly.
Well, I could tell you this. I experienced racism. I know it's real, and I know what it looks like.
Nobody's saying it.
No, well, you gotta hear me out. What I'm saying is, like, racism is taught, and it has not stopped being taught by white folks either. You know, so like we can't act like they don't teach racism because they are the ones who bred it. You know, honestly, black people,
racism has been in existence way before this country ever started.
Oh, we're not talking. I'm talking about here in America. And the problem is, like I said, black people are the easiest people to program because we're disenfranchised here in this country. We don't know our roots. We don't know what the fuck is going on, so we can be programmed easily. Due to that, we're able to be triggered easily by so much shit. And the main thing they trigger us with is white supremacy, which doesn't exist. They use that shit. They use the same plays. They use the same playbooks. And unfortunately, we fall for it. Due to that, there will always be civil unrest when conservatives try to play their hand in a predominantly black environment. I just don't think they should be doing that. I don't think those situations turn out well. Just being honest.
I think it would have. I'm sorry. I think it would like if they had people like Anton or like black conservatives who they kind of relate to. I think they would have received it differently.
Nope.
You don't think so? Because they don't like to see white dudes.
You know who black people hate worse than white people that are conservative? Black people that are conservative. Black people hate people that hate conservatives hate black conservatives more than they hate white conservatives.
That's true.
I blame security on campus. I blame the campus within themselves, because if you're going to call yourself security or police or whatever you call it, your job is to protect everyone, not just one-sided. What all they did was escort them off campus from a mad, emotionally eradicated crowd. Y'all should have been the president of the campus. Anybody higher up should have made an announcement that they were coming. They should have set a strict zero tolerance rule. The minute anybody steps out of line, is immediately disciplined to the highest extent. And that would have stopped them right there, because one thing about it, parents don't play with their money, black, white, or indifferent. And then security should have been posted up way before they set up shop. It doesn't matter as long as it is not no Hitler rhetoric. They should be able to say their piece just like anybody else, no matter if it's a black campus or not. And I agree with Slimmy, but to a degree I don't, because at the same time, when is it going to be okay for people that are conservative to speak their voice when it's another president who's Democrat in office? No, that's not acceptable. Everyone should have their voice, as long as it doesn't harm anyone.
Do you think black people can go speak their voice in sundown towns? Let's just be honest.
Who going to sundown town?
No,
You know what?
I
I
answer
think
the question. Just
I
answer.
think no, but not because of racism, because they're poor. They're poorer than black people. They're
What
poorer
does
than
that
black
mean?
people.
What
We
does that
walk
mean?
around in the ghetto. You have people walking around with Jordans and taking their $13,000, $15,000 tax money, and they're going out the country
Well, you
more
gotta
than
answer the
working
question.
class people. Yes, no, they can't speak, but not because of them being black, because of them being poor.
I will
What?
say this, Lenny. I just
Poor.
watched the video, and I can put it up for you. It's so funny that we're talking about this. I just watched the video, and I think it was because I was going through Charleston White, a Charleston White, low, you know what I'm saying, journey. And I watched the video, and it went viral. It's actually a pretty popular video that they said that they went to the most racist town in America. You seen Amiga? And they went to the
Yeah.
supposedly the
with
most racist downtown in America.
Yep.
And
And
Lex
yeah,
is
big
right.
time.
They just poor.
Yep.
They poor as fuck. And ain't nothing happened to the black people. They bought a black person, an Asian person, all of these other type of people. And it wasn't shit popping. Matter of fact,
And they told the
it was
KKK
black
money.
people that lived in the town literally right next to it. Literally right next to it.
So how did it get to be the most racist town if
They say that
It's named that.
But and it was actually some YouTubers that were over there that stayed there.
Yeah, so it was
I'll send it to
named
you.
that. It's a
I'll drop it
YouTuber
in
that
the,
go and do it.
I'll drop it in the group chat, but I'll send it to you.
Yep. Yeah, and it's a YouTuber that he goes to all. So you know how people say, "Oh, this town is kind of like what you just said, a sundown town." Da da da. He goes to all of those towns, and I remember one of the towns that he went to. He actually was with an actual KKK member, right? For what the KKK is now, right? And so he was talking to him, and
Yeah, it was Vader, Texas, I think.
Yeah, they had a great conversation.
I think it was Vader, Texas.
They didn't get chased out or anything.
They're just poor as fuck. The racist people that they met.
No,
because they there with a camera?
Go look it up.
They
You
just
can
showed
literally
up.
just go look on YouTube and pull it right up. I don't even.
I'll look it up. But I'm calling cap. They seen that camera, so they ain't gonna act a fool.
Yeah, but he by himself.
Let me.
So
A lot of the
he just-
cameras, if I'm not
They
mistaken,
hidden?
I
Hidden
believe
cameras?
I think some of them was hidden. I'm not sure though. I don't know if they was hidden or not.
GR, what's up, my brother? I mean, that town has the highest volume per capita of mixed race violence in the country by like, okay.
But
And who is these? Listen, bro. Who are these mysterious KKK people that y'all keep seeing everywhere? Where the fuck are they? And what are they doing? Can somebody point me in the right direction? I ain't heard from them. I ain't seen them. What have they done lately? Honestly, who are these KKK people that y'all speak so heavily about that we should be worried about?
Jasmine Coffee.
Honestly, bro, they just keep pulling up this mythical shit. Y'all ain't seen a KKK person in your life.
Joe Biden.
I don't know who they talking about.
Hillary Clinton.
So I don't know, bro. I just think that
They went there with bad intentions. They went there wanting to get a reaction. All the nefarious things you could think about, right? It would have been nice to be able to see black young men and women be able to say, "Oh, well, you're here. You
know, this is what Noodle said, right? A lot of times we don't have the chance to just talk to each other. Just talk. Fine. You know what? Oh, I hate black people. I hate white people. Okay, sit down. Let's talk. Let's actually have a conversation. Let's have a respectful conversation. Let's have a respectful, civil conversation. You say you hate me. I say I hate you. Okay, fine. Let's talk. And then when you get down and we sit down and talk to people, just talk. Like respectfully talk. You actually kind of change your mind in the sense that doesn't mean that you maybe love the person or like the person, but you know what? You may not hate the person. You know, you will respect that we're just different. We are just different. That is the thing. And that is okay. We do not, and I support it, do not agree with anybody 100%. You don't need to love anybody. You don't need to like anybody. But hey, be respectful because we're all humans.
think we're this, that, and the third, and then articulate themselves and their points, right? And say, okay, yeah, you came here for this, but this is what you got, right? And so that would have also went viral because it would have showed a different side, and so you would have had a different point of view, and nobody could say certain things. Everybody that I saw even black people, and I'm talking about not people that are on the conservative side. I saw liberal blacks like, yeah, I would expect that. I would have expected it. So everybody expected you to act that way. Why? Because they feel like we know you're overly emotional. We know you triggered this and that and third. Why not show something different? And I think that's what the first young man was doing, even because he did not agree with anything they said.
All right. So I caught a little bit of it. Now they saying Viter is trying to change their image. You know what I'm saying? They trying to change from being a sundown town. And he says that in the actual video. The dude, Kendrick Curry. So that's who I found.
But either you're a sundown town or you're not. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. So that they're trying to change the image. So of course they're not gonna do nothing crazy. Like, and it's a blatant cameraman with him. So
I think the campus enabled their behavior, and they shouldn't have, because they're going to carry that on with. They're the next generation. They're going to carry that on with them as young adults, and as they get older. It's enabling behavior.
Yeah, see, it's people messaging me about Fighter now, and they, Julius Jermaine, he said like he down there. He said you can't go there, and he basically saying like they only reason shit didn't happen is because those cameras was there.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I think if you
don't understand, like they wasn't live streaming, it was recording. So if I kill you and I take your camera, what difference would it make?
They don't know where else.
And here's the stupidity of that. Okay, let's have a white person go into an all black neighborhood, right? Recording and talking to people. Let's see what happens. I've literally seen, okay, a UPS driver, a white UPS driver, go to a black neighborhood and get his car jacked, right? So you make it seem like, oh, these sundown towns. No, this is a thing where we have a problem where where white people, black people, they hate each other. They hate each other. So it don't matter where you go. This is the stupidity. Oh, you think that that's something unique? No. You could do the same thing in all black neighborhood, right? Compton, you think white people are going to Compton and asking people questions? No. It's kind of stupid.
How do cameras protect you until after I edit the footage and put it up?
No, but the thing is though, if you see one camera, you're not gonna think that's the only one.
There was only like two of them though.
I don't understand.
Which was crazy in itself. If this is supposed to be a sundown town, it was like the one I saw. It was only like two people.
He also says at the beginning of the video they're trying to change their image. So I don't know.
Here's my thing. You're not going to ever get okay. Some people are just racist. It is what it is, right? Some people are just that. However, if it's not directly, meaning I'm talking about if they're not stopping you from having freedom of mobility, they're not stopping you from getting a house, they're not stopping you from doing this. You can sit in your house and stew all day about not liking people of color. Doesn't matter.
But the thing is though, let's just be honest about them dudes that went to that college campus. If they didn't have a propaganda with them, that it probably would have just been whatever the signs they had. We don't know what those signs said. You know,
well, you gotta have. But you gotta have.
Wait. Just let me finish. Mm-hmm. If they don't have any of that stuff, it could probably be a normal conversation, and nothing happens.
Okay, but if I'm going on campus, right, and I don't know, let's say I'm Planned Parenthood, right? If I'm trying to do something, I have to identify myself. So I get why they would have signs and say what they want to talk about. And like I said, I mean, I went to one of the most liberal schools, NYU. And when I tell you, liberals do it all the time. They do it all the time. They rage. They come up with all these protests. I mean, they barge in your classrooms. They say what they want to say, like all the time. They're invited, uninvited. I just woke up today and thought I was going to yell at everybody on campus. That's what they do. And you know what everybody does? Okay, cool.
All right, let me read some of the super chats. We got to move on.
Can I add something real quick?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Or am I too late?
No, you cool. I didn't know if you had seen the video.
I did.
Tardy.
Everybody.
Habitual tardyism.
So if you're truly attempting to engage in healthy dialogue with people who you can assume have a total either difference of opinion or they're just going to judge you based off of how you come, being white, wearing the MAGA hat, whatever, then I think that you have to change your approach. Now, if you want to just prove a point, if you want to just show, I really should be able to go here, I should be able to just talk and wear what I want to wear and everyone should behave, even though they're not, then that's something different. But if you're trying to really have an effective exchange, and I think that unfortunately with a HBCU in certain HBCUs especially, you're gonna have to be more strategic. So I don't even know who these guys. I don't know if they just came onto the campus, if they were invited. I don't know who was representing them. I don't know any of that, but it probably should have been a thing where they, extended it. I'm sorry, they reached out to maybe an organization at the campus, and then they asked, could we put on an event in the auditorium, in the, wherever, give people an opportunity to decide they want to come and handle it that way. That way, those who really want to engage, you have a better chance, let me say, of those who really want to engage, they'll come. And those who are about the nonsense probably won't even read a flyer anyway. So they probably won't even be around like that. But unfortunately, with us in that climate, you got to be strategic. I mean, even Hampton, if Howard came and just set up a booth to talk about how good Howard was, I mean, we wouldn't necessarily fight, but we're rivals. So even that will create some type of an energy. That's just what it is. We've already talked about how Black people, somebody could be fighting and you could just, like, one person can fight and then everybody will go run to the fight. Like, I don't know what that is in us, but we run to drama. We run to trouble. I don't know why, but we have a tendency to do that. So the domino effect that we saw take place, I'm not surprised. And it sounds like everybody else wasn't surprised either. So if we know what to expect, then why go in like that?
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
Why hasn't that been addressed? Because just from your age group, right, to these children's age group, if everybody in the span of 30 to 40 years can expect it, why hasn't it changed?
I mean, many different
because
reasons.
now it sounds like now it goes from everybody else needs to change. Everybody else needs to learn how to, talk different ways. We spend all this time talking about how we should do pronouns, how we should do transgender people, gay people, this people, right? How everybody has to tiptoe and change and learn the times. Why is it that this group, this demographic doesn't have to change their stance, doesn't have to change their mindset?
Well, that's
meaning liberal. Go ahead. You said something.
Well, no, I'm not saying that people should have to change for them. I'm saying they should be clear of their intention. And I look at 18 and 19-year-olds, I look at college kids differently than I look at grown adult liberals who are 30, 40, 50. Like I'm separating that, because to your point, a lot of these kids, I'm gonna call them kids, they were raised by liberals. They were raised by people with this perspective. So to expect them to just change would be insane. So here we have an opportunity where they're separated from their parents. Now we have them in isolation. I have a decision to make. I can either go in here and say, this is how y'all should have been raised better. Y'all should know how to handle yourselves. Y'all should know how to handle me coming in here with this MAGA hat on and listening to what I got to say. But the reality is that's not it. That's not
right.
The
but
case.
we expect, I'm saying is we expect everybody else to do it, because let's say if it was split, I
don't expect, Mika, I don't expect. What I'm saying is if you are coming to my campus, why are you coming here? Are you coming here to help me? Or are you coming here to hurt me? If you're coming here to help me, then yeah, you probably should figure out the best way to get me that help.
Did you see the video of them conversing with the young man? It was only.
I heard you describe it. I didn't see that part.
It was, and I can send it to you if you don't have it. It was only when the Black girls showed up.
I got you. I believe it.
Right.
I totally believe it.
And so what you just said, they were doing. And the young man didn't agree with nothing the white boys were saying, but he articulated himself.
I got you on that, Mika.
It was quiet until they showed up.
Yeah, but and again, this is why I'm saying it goes back to intention, because some people might be like, I don't want to have to change up my MO to talk to these kids. So I would then say, then don't come. I would say you're better off just not going to that campus than to come to the campus the way you want to come, expecting them to receive you differently, unfortunately.
But they did. That's what I'm saying.
No, I like I said, I think that it was clear that type of a setting in this type of a climate is not going to be effective. Whether we like it or not, it's just not. So again, you have a choice. Are you trying to be effective or not? If you're not, don't even bother coming here, because it's not going to work like that.
If a group of kids, or if a kid is talking to me, isn't that being effective?
That's one kid though.
The other boys that were not engaging still were not cursing them out. They were sitting there listening.
Yeah, I think that for what this is not the time at that type of a campus for the person who's speaking the opposing view to just be standing in the middle of a crowd. I just think that creates
but they
too
weren't.
much.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it looked like they were just kind of out there standing.
No, they got surrounded. That was the difference.
But what I'm saying is they're just out on. It looked like they were just outside, as opposed to he's down. College campuses, depending on how it's set up, it could be a little stadium, a little auditorium type of thing where the main people are down on the panel and everybody is sitting in a seat. I'm saying it should have been more organized like that, in my opinion, to be effective. People should have been able to be invited to it, as opposed to I'm coming out of class.
I think that's stupid, right? You should have a decorum. You should have some decorum. You should have some decorum. You should know how to act. No, you don't need to agree with nobody. You don't agree with him, walk away. That's the thing, where it's a public space. If you don't agree, walk away. People should know how to act. I'm sorry. Like, no.
I'm coming out of lunch. I see some white dude with a MAGA hat on, probably don't know any reason why they're on there, and now they're going over there following the crowd. I'm just saying, I don't think that the setup was the best to get an effective outcome. And I'm not saying that that's right. Like, it sucks that is what it is. It's embarrassing. It totally is embarrassing. But again, it's like, it's kind of like if I decide I want to help kids in the hood, like, I have to go in knowing it's not going to be the same as me helping kids over here. Like, it just is what it is.
I still blame security. They should have had both.
They did a bad job too.
But it's a college campus. You should be able to debate your thoughts and your opinions and your ideologies and your philosophies. That's the place where you do it at. Nobody should have to handle you with kid gloves.
And Black Lives Matter here in DC, they do it on college campuses.
I agree,
all the
y'all,
time.
but
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a college. That's the place where you
reality.
set up those type of situations. That's the place where you have that type of discourse.
Black Lives Matter roll up there and
you're
just be like, I'm saying what I want.
And then Black women and their daughters want to throw on their cape and always be a bully and go out and make an issue that really don't have. If you're not participating in the debate, what you there for?
I agree with y'all. It shouldn't be like that. Like,
exactly, Eddie. This is the thing where I said in the title, right? It's always the left. It's always these types of people that, you know what? You cannot handle conversation. You cannot handle debating your ideology. You can't handle it. I've said this before. I'm down with, if anyone have a different opinion, I'm down. I'm down. You know what I was going to do? I'm going to eventually do it, right? Where I want to do a live where I'm setting up a TikTok, and anyone, because I think I'll more likely get, haters and debaters or, detractors on TikTok than I would get on YouTube. So I'm thinking about doing that eventually.
Somebody should be able to walk up to a young man and tell him, pull up your pants. You don't look, whatever. They should be able to. We should be able to interact with each other, like on that type of level, period. But unfortunately, that's not the reality. So what are you going to play into? What it should be or what it really is, which again, to me, goes back to your intention.
So that means colleges have changed to straight up indoctrination camps. You go here
it's the
to
environment.
learn this.
They haven't changed.
They've always been indoctrination camps.
They are indoctrination camps, but now you can't even question.
But yeah, you only get one
but
indoctrination.
it's a place for critical thinking and where you could challenge the narrative or challenge the information. And now you can't.
It is.
You cannot have any type of opposing
difference.
ideology now at a college. What's the point of college then? Just so you can get indoctrinated. You can't think for yourself. You have to think this way. You have to be this particular way. This is why these colleges are failing. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, they're all indoctrination camps. They've always been that. That's how they're gonna always be.
All right, let's check out. Let's check this one out.
Going viral through many videos from many different angles all over the internet right now, and the story goes like this. A few MAGA supporters show up to Tennessee State University to have some civil debate. Now, the civil debate that they end up getting is hundreds of students crowding them, stealing their signs, and then chasing them off of campus while giving them middle fingers and screaming at them. And I watched these videos and I thought, wait a second, I know one of these MAGA supporters, and if you're a fan of this channel and you watch for quite some time, you may know him too. And guess what? He's on the show today, so let's talk about it. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. It popped up on my TikTok For You page, and it didn't pop up from a right-winger talking about the students' behavior. It popped up because one of the students posted that MAGA supporters, quote, invaded our HBCU. And this is how they responded.
MAGA supporters invaded our HBCU.
What is going on over here?
Now, do you see that that lock in on that face there? Do you guys recognize that face? That is Cam Higby, okay? I used to work with Cam, and now he's making these videos, and he has been for quite some time, going to university campuses and civilly debating students. Now, it didn't turn out so well at TSU, so let's keep watching.
You called the East primitive for what? We created y'all knowledge. We created y'all science. We created y'all math. Y'all didn't do shit besides steal. Y'all didn't do anything to your...
We created y'all knowledge. We created y'all science. We created y'all math. All right, bet. Source?
You know, this is the thing where this is why they can't debate. It's being emotional. If you created so many things, why is Africa still a third world, basically a third world continent?
You guys didn't make shit. You guys touch children. You guys fuck.
Showing them the door.
Oh, pedophilia accusations.
We walking them to the door, y'all. I don't even know how they got on campus. We gonna figure that out, but I don't know. They need to get like a trespass, like penalty or something because
Sending them off.
Tell him it's that boy. He thought he was gonna come up like Tom.
yes. Say good job, TSU.
Good job.
Good.
Okay, so isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, that's how you're gonna go about it, right? That's how. Yes, very emotional. This is how you go about it. So because you can't debate, you can't, battle with ideas, you're gonna be emotional by stealing, by bullying. That's how you go about it.
Now, it's so funny because these students posted this video thinking that they've done something wonderful here, thinking that they've done something correct, that they've kicked off these people who are just trying to have civil discourse. Now, they did mention that these...
What's up, the impregnator? I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. Just a man with an opinion. That's it. Just a man with an opinion.
These individuals, including Cam, were apparently not authorized to be on the campus. So we're going to, in fact, engage on that topic with Cam once he's on the show. But the comments on here are absolutely insane. Somebody says, why are they so obsessed with us? Others say they're mad because our HBCUs are outperforming theirs. Okay. Another one says they want civil war. They want violence from us. And then this one, even crazier, he wants to be Charlie Kirk 2.0. Now, many of these comments are sort of asking for violence against Cam and others who were with him. It's just absolutely ridiculous to watch. And I can go ahead through my experience with Cam and know.
No, I talk about whatever, right? I've talked about some bit of politics. I've talked about a bit of some geeky stuff, men and women dynamics, dating and stuff like that. So I talk about a lot of different things.
Him maybe make the inference that he doesn't want you guys to be violent. He doesn't want a civil war. I think he actually just wanted civil discussion. He didn't end up getting that. Now there's more footage of what's taken place here that, of course, as I said, has gone massively viral. Now I'm going to show you how these students engaged with them. Now, mind you, all they had was a table set up, a couple of signs of what they wanted to discuss, microphones for everybody there, and cameras. And here's how these HBCU students reacted.
Hey, you can't hold your hand. Do that. Come on. Yo.
You cut it up, boy. You cut it up.
Okay. Bring the sign back.
That was useless security guards. Useless security guards.
I just gotta pause to say this is so disturbing. I mean, I don't know how to describe this without sounding extremely offensive. I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing right now, but you guys can sort of figure out what I'm.
No, I wouldn't really. I definitely don't consider myself a leftist. I'm very much. I think that's. They are. I definitely don't support the left. I definitely don't. I find them delusional, hypocrites, and insane people.
I'm thinking, this is insane. You guys are insane. And these people think that they're activists. They think they're conducting themselves in a professional manner. They think they're doing what's right. They think they're getting rid of what neo-Nazis and white nationalists rather than the actual idea that they may be creating them with behavior like this.
You see this, the craziness of this, the highly emotional nature of this? It's showing that they cannot stand on their ideologies. Right? I said this before, when you are emotional, when you are acting irrational and emotional, you have lost the debate. You have lost the argument.
we're gonna do like a little end live pregame or post-game situation here. We have 500 people watching.
We got 500 right here watching.
Look.
Middle finger is great.
This is insane. What the heck? Oh my gosh.
Well, I think the Fearless tour definitely made an impact.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
They just tried to hit the car.
Just the imagery of like these black officers dealing with these black students at an HBCU who are completely conducting themselves in like the most horrific manner you could possibly conduct yourself in response to somebody trying to have civil discourse with you is just insane. And it says a lot. It's very, very
I definitely do, right? I think young liberals are absolutely mentally ill. This is the problem where I don't ignore the fact that there are a lot of far right people. But in my honest opinion, I think the far left outnumbers the far right. I really do. Okay. I honestly believe the people that are on the right, they're mostly center right to just right, not far right. While left, I think they're more far left. So absolutely unhinged. No, I mean, this is the thing where I do agree, right? We do need a new party. We do need, I mean, I think the center, right? There should be more, what is it? Candidates that come from out of the center, right? I definitely believe that we need more, politicians that are more centered focus.
Telling to how divisive politics has become in our country these days, and specifically on university campuses, which are just indoctrination centers at this point. This is how you act when you are brainwashed and indoctrinated. There is no person in their right mind who is treating somebody with a differing opinion like this. These people are insane. They're insane.
Oh my gosh.
I think Horace is still out there trying to make sure.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, officers.
Wow. Hey!
Yeah, they threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top. Yeah, we got this all live. I'm posting this directly after so everyone can see exactly.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Turn up a lot.
All right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see you later from the Fearless Tour game.
Are they going to block me in here now? I think that might be what they're trying to do. They're intentionally blocking us.
It's such degeneracy. I don't know. Like it's actually it's making me laugh because it's shocking.
They're hitting the car.
I thought they wanted us to leave.
They're hitting the car. We're trying to leave, and they're telling us to leave, and they don't want us to leave, I guess. Hey, they are still hitting the car.
That's okay. Bring it.
How is this a university?
Look, they're intentionally blocking us. They want us to leave, but they don't want us to leave.
It's like the biggest conundrum of all time. They're still hitting the car. This is wild. It's like a zombie apocalypse or something, man. Like the
Zombie apocalypse looks more to me about like a group of let's say 100 to 150 future doctors and lawyers, right, guys?
Still hitting the car. Whoa! That was loud.
It's just so insane. This is the state of civil discourse in this nation. This is the state of our education system. And this specifically seems to be a testament to HBCUs because everybody wants to be all so bad, according to the TikTok comments under this one. This is insane, okay? And the story gets even crazier. It gets even crazier.
Do they have class? I don't know if they have class or not.
When we get into the response from the university themselves. Now, you would think Tennessee State University, after seeing this footage, would come out and profusely apologize. Now, they may say this group of people was not authorized to be on campus, and that's something to discuss. It's something to call out, and we'll do that with Cam, as I said before. But are we going to discuss the behavior of your students? Are we going to point out the fact that they conduct themselves in a completely unprofessional, just degenerate manner? Probably not. And here's the statement itself. Let's read it. TSU statement on unauthorized campus activity. So it's not a statement on the behavior of your students when asked for civil discourse. It's a statement on unauthorized campus activity. They say today a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice. In accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity requires advanced approval and permitting. So it says, in accordance with university policy, any demonstration or protest activity, which is very interesting wording. I'm going to get to that hopefully with Cam, and maybe he'll have some knowledge there. Were they demonstrating, or were they doing any sort of protest activity, or were they there to have civil discourse? Maybe that'll clear things up. Now, they go on to say campus police and staff responded promptly, and individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. without incident. I saw vandalism. I saw some verbal assault. It could have gotten physical at times with the way that they were taking their signs and touching their property. So they were apparently escorted off university grounds without incident. Do y'all know that the video footage exists? Do y'all know that your own students posted the video footage online all over on all these different platforms and that they're getting cheered on by other degenerates? Did they know that Cam and his entire group had footage of this? Anyways, they say at all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. If this is professional and respectful, I would love to see what unprofessional and disrespectful behavior looks like for these people. They go on to say the safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. Not to your students, not to your faculty and staff, it seems. TSU will continue to uphold university policies and ensure that campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. And just like that, the comments are turned off on this because, I don't know, everybody and their mother, brother, and sister can see how TSU students actually conducted themselves, the way that they treated not only the people who are visiting their campus to have civil discussion, but the police officers, the way they treated the car, the way they just completely crowded these individuals, screaming, throwing middle fingers at them, throwing water at them. It's absolutely insane. And if we can't see something like this and completely relate it to what took place with Charlie Kirk at UVU, then we don't have eyes, because this is the state of the university education system. And as I said before, they are indoctrination centers. Students are going into these university campuses, either being left-leaning, unaffiliated, being conservative even. Conservative students are being asked to hide their views, to pretend to have different views, essentially, to get by in these schools. Free speech, it seems, is non-existent, given this response, given what happened to Charlie Kirk, given the way the conservative students feel on campus. The education system itself is pushing leftist ideology, left and right, things like DEI and critical race theory, critical feminist theory, critical body theory, all of these different isms and phobias are being pushed onto these very young, malleable minds. But these young, malleable minds are also adults, and they're adults conducting themselves in the manner like what we just saw at Tennessee State University. It's completely unacceptable. And mind you, HBCUs, federal funding, they're receiving a lot of federal funding. Should you continue to receive federal funding like this? When this is how you behave, when this is how you treat people who come to your campus and try to have civil discourse? Is the federal funding going anywhere at these schools if this is...
I don't know. I think no school, no college should be receiving federal funding. I don't believe that at all. Why is your all-black school receiving federal funding? I think that's idiotic. I honestly do. I don't know.
How students are conducting...
And this is what your tax money is going to right here. This is what your tax money is going to. Indoctrination, right? Indoctrination of young black adults. This is what it's going to? Producing more venom, more toxicity, more racism? Yes, that's what I want my tax money to go to. Imagine our tax money going to propping up white supremacists or KKK or, you know, racist, white racist colleges. That's what I want my money to go to. Yes. Absolute insane use of tax money.
Themselves, but somebody on TikTok says everybody wants to be at the HBCU. Everybody's obsessed with the HBCUs, right? They're mad, quote, because our HBCUs are outperforming theirs. Okay. Mind you, there are sources reporting that this particular HBCU, Tennessee State University, has a graduation rate of about 22%. So yeah, I don't think these individuals are upset that you're outperforming them. I think we actually need to bring the performance up and start performing like actual human beings and not like a National Geographic documentary. Let's be honest. These individuals are...
So this is what our tax money is going to. Our tax money, American tax money, is going to a college that has only a 22% graduation rate. Our tax money is going to people that are only earning $34,000 a year. What the fuck are these people learning? Are these producing the future engineers of the world? Are these schools producing the future engineers, mathematicians, techs, finance? Are these producing the next generation of that? No, it doesn't look like it.
Upset that you're outperforming them. I think we actually need to bring the performance up and start performing like actual human beings and not like a National Geographic documentary. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. At the risk of sounding like one of those white nationalist neo-Nazis, that's how you guys are acting, okay? Now with that, now that we've established the whole situation, let's bring on Cam to talk about this further. Because as I said, I saw these videos and I said, well, damn, I know him. All right, so Cam, you're back on the show. This time you're not in the producer's bay. So welcome. Where are you right now?
Thanks. I'm in New York. I'm in a hotel, not in the producer's bay.
Are you unwinding a little bit, relaxing after your tumultuous time at TSU?
Yeah.
And that's what people should be doing. Study. With with a school that has only a 22% graduation rate, I think you're better off studying than outside looking like fucking fools.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Drove
run
up.
me through like what you were going through here, because you came up on my TikTok page. It was one of these students posting you, and of course they zoom in on your face, and all of a sudden I'm having this realization that okay, this is Cam. And I know you travel around to universities to have these discussions. In this moment, what are you feeling? Because you don't really get a lot of time to address the camera or to speak about what's happening. How did this all go down, and how'd you feel?
Yeah, they look like that. Yeah, they look like that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. So we've been
exactly a 22% graduation rate. That is a waste of taxpayers' money. What are we funding that school to do? What are we funding that school to do? Waste money? It's not producing the next generation of well-educated people. No. Okay? It's not helping young black adults. A 22% graduation rate. And the median salary of the people who's going out of that school is $35,000. You might as well be working for McDonald's, right? You might as well be working for McDonald's with a $20 an hour pay. You probably make the same amount. You don't need the college degree for that shit. Why isn't HBCU producing the next generation of engineers, of finance people, of mathematicians, of science, of all like the worthwhile degrees? Why isn't it doing that?
going to college campuses across the United States, especially after Charlie died, to kind of keep the message alive and show people that we're not afraid to have conversations, both the right and the left. And we went to TSU, which was the first historically black college that we went to, and I think it probably won't be the last now. And we show up, and the campus is dead. There's nobody. I mean, we thought about packing up and leaving because when we first stepped foot on the campus, there was nobody. And one of my business partners actually looked at me and said, we might as well just tell the security to go home. Like, there's no reason, nothing's going to happen here. And so we go and we set up the table, we set up the microphones, we set up the signs, and one person comes up, or I guess it was a group of two, come up and they start having a conversation with us, and we're just talking about DEI and racism in the United States and stuff like that. And it was honestly one of the most civil conversations that I've had on the whole tour. I mean, I was laid back. I think I'm probably mostly because I was tired. And all of a sudden, this angry mob starts to form, and then the police come, the campus police, and
exactly. About half is raised by single mothers. The other half is raised by inept, useless fathers. No.
They kind of tell us, like, you're supposed to get a permit. And we're like, yeah, but it's a public university. This is, the First Amendment. And they're like, yeah, you're right. And then they kind of just, like, hung around and protected us. And the mob grew and grew and grew to the point where it was, like, 500 people. And they just started pushing closer and closer until we were completely surrounded. And we decided, well, we're not going to get anything productive done today, so we might as well leave. And the police flanked us on the way out. And I mean, they were stealing our signs. And you see in the videos, they have these BLM signs. Those are our signs. They ripped them up, stole our Sharpies, and wrote on them. And then they follow us to the car. We get in the car. They're yelling at my security guard, by the way, who was black. And they're basically calling him a race traitor and stuff. And we get in the car, and they surround the car. They get in their cars. They block us onto the campus. And they're throwing stuff at the car, banging on the windows. It's crazy.
Yeah, was there any sort of like tipping point? Because as you said, you started with some pretty civil discussions and then these people just sort of congregate. Was there any moment where you knew like, oh, this is going to go down? I know in the video footage you see a sign gets stolen and you walk up to sort of get it back and a guy gets in your face and is like, don't do that. And immediately you're like, okay, this is going to go somewhere different. What happened there?
Yeah, the tipping point was where the first sign was stolen. Once somebody does it, then everyone's going to do it. And they started stealing other stuff. And then the mob realized they can do whatever they want. And there's more of them than there are the police. And at first we didn't think it was going to go this way because at every campus we go to, a large crowd forms of anywhere from like 30 to 100 people. This is not out of the ordinary for us. But usually it's very civil. We have a speaker, like a giant JBL, and both the guest and us speak on it. And that usually keeps the audience pretty quiet because they're just listening to the conversation. But in this case, they went ballistic. And very quickly after the first sign was stolen, it totally devolved. There was one guy who had a screwdriver and he was holding it backhanded like a weapon as he was talking to my debate partner, David. And we didn't even realize he had a screwdriver because there's so much going on around us. So this guy's right next to us with a weapon and we don't even realize it's in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, and things can change so quickly. I can imagine.
You're a student. Why are you walking around with a screwdriver? As a student, what purpose do you have walking around campus with a screwdriver? What? Just in case? Just in case for what? Just in case you want to shank somebody? You want to shank someone? Is that the mentality? Is that what we are promoting in the black community? Walk around with a screwdriver, so just in case you need to shake anyone. Yeah, that's the mentality that you want to promote. Instead of, you know what, having a civil conversation with somebody. No, let's have a screwdriver just in case I need to shank somebody. Yeah, that's what we're promoting. This is what we promote in the black community. Makes sense.
How like that it's got to induce fear of some sort. Were you scared? Were you guys kind of kept it cool and you kind of kept filming, you kept yourself collected pretty well? What were you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, like very low pressure situations for me are very high pressure. I kind of freak out when it's like a room and it's calm.
And that's the sad part, right? This is why good fathers are so important. Good fathers, we teach our children to regulate emotions, to control your emotions.
But for me, you know, when the adrenaline's rushing and I'm in the middle of what is essentially a riot, that's when I'm like pretty much at my prime.
Right. The zone kicks in. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And I'm insane. What's insane about this, because you just described that as a riot, which anybody who's watching this video could basically see that that's what's taking place. I mean, they're hitting your car, they're throwing middle fingers at you, they're trying to block your car as you're trying to leave. And of course, we've gotten to the university response. We've already read that for the audience here. The university claims that they conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. That's the quote there. And they've actually called you guys out and said that you guys were on the campus unauthorized and that it's actually essentially your fault. They've blamed you for what's taken place.
Yeah.
And essentially said, well, nothing has taken place. What's your take on that? What's the whole background with the permitting and being allowed to be on the campus?
Yeah, they actually sent an email to the alumni, and their alumni leaked it to me, where they called us hostile, even though we just sat down and we're actually having a very nice conversation with one of the young men who walked up and talked to us. And I mean, my take is just like, it's on video. We live streamed the whole thing. We recorded the whole thing. There were at least 8 separate cameras recording the whole thing. And then you can see from my camera angles, the whole mob is also recording. It's like, this is not something you're going to be able to contain. So why lie about it? Why not just say, we condemn the actions of our students? And this wouldn't be such a big story, because really what made us very upset about this and push it 10 times harder was because the school blamed us and said that their students acted respectfully and professionally. What is professional and respectful about what they did? Basically pushing us off a public campus. We didn't have a permit. We try to call the universities, all of them, before we show up and let them know that we're coming. And they're usually very accommodating. They're public campuses. We don't really go to private campuses unless we can get in touch with some CRs that can hook us up with an invitation. But we call the public campuses, and they usually are very accommodating. The administration just comes out and says, "Okay, well, I hope you guys are doing well." And yep, this is it. Like Clemson did that, UNC Charlotte, all of them. And but this administration, we called them and they sent us straight to voicemail before we came. And then the police came and gave us the numbers to the administration as well. And again, we called 3 times and straight to voicemail. So there wasn't a way to get permission to come to this campus either way. And but it's a public campus, so we just, this is our First Amendment right. So we showed up and we did that. And even if there was a justification to kick us off campus for not having a permit, that's the duty of the administration, not the student body, to remove us in a violent manner. If a police officer would have come down and given us a lawful order to leave, we would have done so immediately.
Right. It seems like you
But they
guys
didn't.
were very willing, even when the situation was getting tense. You're like, okay, we're going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
we're gonna do it. Just somebody allow us to do it smoothly and safely. And the students, interestingly enough, you say in the video, or somebody says in the video, you want us gone, but you're also trying to keep us here. So in that sort of high pressure situation, what are you meant to think is going to happen?
Well, I mean, it's this university is in a rough neighborhood, so like that's also a factor. Is like, you don't know who's around or who's going to do what, or we've already seen them with screwdrivers. They've damaged the vehicle. What's next? Why are they driving in front of us so slow, or at times even completely stopped? And it was obviously like they were holding us up for some reason. And
Right.
it is a contradiction. Why are you yelling at us to leave and doing this with your hand, like pointing to the exit to the campus, but you're not letting us leave?
Yeah, you guys are better than me. I would have hightailed it out there when I saw that crowd forming. I thought this is not the situation for me. And I'm wondering, now that we have the university responding publicly, they of course know who you are. All this footage is out there. You're named in it, as well as the other men who are in this whole situation with you. Are there going to be any repercussions based off what's happened? Has anybody spoken to you at all about this?
Yeah, we're definitely pursuing some avenues. I'll say that there will likely be repercussions for the university, more so than just the social repercussions they've already felt with their statement that has 16 million views and barely any likes. Another funny thing too is like a lot of people are on me. Why would you choose to go to an HBCU? Why would you choose to go to an HBCU? And we keep saying like, first of all, we didn't even know it was an HBCU until like the night before. The reason we chose that university is because it's one of the few public universities in Nashville. You have Vanderbilt and Belmont, which are both private, and then TSU is public. And so that's why we chose it, not because it's an HBCU. But even if we did choose it because it was an HBCU, who cares? Do you want us to exclude Black people from the conversation? I think this actually only galvanizes me to want to go to more HBCUs, because I think Black people should be included in the conversation.
I love that. Why? Why isn't black people included in the conversation? This is the problem I find so much, right? After Charlie Kirk died, we see so many black people going online on social media. He's a racist. Are you kidding me? When he was alive, you had the chance to debate him face to fucking face. You didn't have the guts. You didn't have the balls to debate this so-called racist face to face, right? You didn't have the balls. None of these people had the guts, right? Had the balls to debate this man face to fucking face. Any one of these people who called him a racist, who called him all this shit that they called him once he died, you could have, if you had the fucking guts, you could have gone to these campuses, public campuses, and debated the man. No, you are fucking weak. You had no balls. You had no guts. You wait until the man is dead to say your piece, because no one's going to hold you to it, right? Because people will say you could just go on to debate him. But now he's dead now. So of course you can't debate him. Of course you can't say shit. Right? So that's what I do agree. Great. Do more. I hope they have security, right? I hope they have security. But do more of it. Include people in this conversation. Include black people in the conversation. Include them. Debate them on their ideologies. Because you hear this, this is the thing, right? If I was anybody, if I was someone special, if I had a following, if I had much of a following, I would do it. I would go to these campuses and debate black people. I would. You think America's so racist? Let's debate. Let's debate. Let's have a civil discourse. Let's have a debate. Let's have a conversation. If you believe it so much, come on. I've said this down before too. If you want to debate me, write in the comment section. I'll do a live stream with you. I'll do a live stream. Because this is the fucking problem we have. So many people are so weak with their ideology. They're so weak with their ideology. They're so weak with their beliefs. If you're so strong with your belief, you believe white people are the problem, you believe America's racist, fuck it, I'm down. Come on. Let's have a conversation. But so many people have no guts, no balls to defend their point of view. So no, go to HBCUs. Do it. I hope they do. I'll be watching it. I'll be watching it. Because these people, I'm sorry, a lot of people in the black community have no guts to debate their ideology. They have nothing to back it up.
And I'm not going to be intimidated away from public spaces.
Yeah, and it's interesting that in the wake of what's happened to Charlie Kirk and his assassination, a lot of people have been accusing him of being a racist, of being anti-black. And in the same way that you've just made that statement, you can find similar statements.
And yet they never had the fucking guts to go up to him and debate him. Defend your views. Defend your views. This is a thing where, again, defend your views. I say this, right? If we can't find common ground, at least we agree or disagree. If you can't defend your view, you've already lost. You've already lost if you can't defend your views.
Statements being made by Charlie. And I think it's really interesting imagery to now see white men go to a campus to have civil debate with black students, and then black students sort of corralling them out of the campus. And you look at that imagery and you think, okay, well, we've apparently we're in an age of progress, but we've regressed back to this new form of like anti-white racism. And the imagery is right there in the video. And the fact the university is not acknowledging that is just insane.
Hey, they're calling me 2025 Ruby Bridges. So
okay. It's amazing. That's amazing.
Civil rights leader of our time right here.
Like, what do you think needs to happen moving forward so that you can do something like this at a campus like TSU and have it be successful?
I don't know. I mean, I want these people to know that we're really there in good faith to just have a conversation. Like, a lot of people are just saying we came there to incite or intimidate, but I think the footage is very clear, and that's why we posted this video that actually starts with the conversation we were having with the first guy. So civil on both sides. And then slowly, then it's kind of a time lapse. You see the mob form, and then out of nowhere they start stealing our signs, and like it just evolves very quickly, and it shows the whole thing, how it started and how it ended. And I just want these people to know that we're like genuinely there for a conversation. We don't want to incite. It's not we don't hate you. We disagree on DEI. And one of the big things I was talking to the first person about was DEI is not good for black people. I mean, or women, right? I know lots of people who are in a role because they were hired for what they look like, and they have imposter syndrome because they don't feel like they belong in the role that they're in because they know they weren't hired for their qualifications but for their characteristics, and that's racist. And I think it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, and we should work towards.
And DEI is useless. DEI is useless. It only benefits white women, right? I mean, white women predominantly benefit from DEI, so it's useless. Get rid of it.
As they say, a society of anti-racism, and I think banning DEI, which is what our sign called for, is working towards that objective. And they say, well, why, DEI is already banned. Why are you? DEI is not banned. Like, affirmative action is banned, and a lot of DEI practices have been clamped down on. But even if it was banned, it doesn't change the fact that people still support it. And so we're keeping the conversation alive so we can have lasting change and not just, it's banned, but when a Democrat gets back in office, it comes back.
Right, 100%. And like the fact that you can't, interestingly enough, like what you said is technically anti-racist, and what they did and how they responded is actually what racism looks like. And you are going to run into this on many a college campus, I think, and you already have in doing this. And it does speak to the state of higher education and just the university systems at large, and how these are largely becoming like indoctrination camps for young people who are, young adults who are conducting themselves in this way. And I've seen a lot of people in response to your video saying like the Trump administration needs to pull funding from these HBCUs. Like clearly these are not successful engagements, establishments. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, to be honest, 22% graduation rate from that particular school. I'm sorry. Funding was useless. If your school is only producing a 22% graduation rate, you don't deserve the funding.
Thoughts on that after your experience?
Yeah, so I think the graduation rate of Tennessee State University is 32%. So irregardless of the race riot, because they were shouting anti-white stuff at us, I would say any institution that can't keep its graduation rate over 50% shouldn't receive a single federal tax dollars, HBCU or not. I don't care if it's an all-white school, right? You shouldn't be getting any tax money if you can't keep your graduation rate over 50%, because you're basically just funneling money to a bunch of students who are never going to graduate the university. And it's a waste. And that university needs to do better. It's an administrative problem. And a misallocation of the resources they currently have. And evidently the people running their social medias aren't very bright, given the statement that they made related to our situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's abundantly clear whatever's happening at that university is not good, and it shines in the behavior and the actions of the students here. You said you're going to other universities moving forward. What changes after this moment? I saw the little fund our security fund at the bottom, because I imagine security is being upped in the wake of everything that's happening in the news, let alone your experience here.
Yeah, I mean, not much has changed. We're just gonna keep doing exactly what we've been doing. We'll probably
They should get Turning Point's cooperation.
Probably, as we raise more money with the Give Send Go that we have on our socials, we'll have a bigger budget for hiring more security. We had one guard at TSU, so in the future it might be a good idea to have more. But if things get rowdy, the universities usually send the police, so that's a little safety there. But like at TSU, if there's a mob like that, they outnumber the police, so it becomes still difficult. So yeah, I mean, that's the goal, is just continue exactly how we have been. We're not deterred. I had a detour for some meetings. That's why we haven't hit the universities in the past couple of days, but we're not stopping because of that.
I love to hear that. And you're continuing to want to have civil discussion. I guess it's like a final question here. A lot of these TSU students, I bet, are going to be keeping you on their radar. I imagine they're hopping on your socials. I imagine
Barricades? I don't know if that helps. That probably wouldn't. What do you guys think? This is the problem with our current landscape. We cannot talk with each other. That is absolutely ridiculous. We should be able to have a civil discourse, respectful civil discourse. It is insane if we can't. All right, so I want to support. I kind of like their thing, right? So I want to support them a bit. I want to check them out. I want to check out their, what they're doing. So I want to check it out. So this guy's his name is Cam Higbee. So yeah, interesting. This is his thing is called like the Fearless Tour. So interesting. Let's check it out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll look into it. Because it would take a very long time to look through all the empirical research and who's it's coming from. I am going to speak for my community because Most of my friends are trans.
Okay.
And I can say, knowing them and hoping that they are okay with me speaking for them, my friends have gotten nothing but joy from gender affirming therapy. And I've known them since before they came out, before they were in gender affirming care. And I see that it is just a part of them doing something out of love for themselves. And none of them have been pushed by outside people, outside influences to go on hormones, to get surgery. Every person that I'm close with, it's been a very personal, long struggle where they're like, is this the best way for me to be who I am? It's not the surgery that really makes them who they are. They were already that person, but they were like, will this improve my life? And if it was just them, and they were in an insular place where it was like, has coming out as trans and getting affirming care improve my life? I can be almost sure that all of them would say yes. But the climate, the political climate, and the violence, and with policy, with people saying they don't exist, that just sucks all the fucking joy out of being human. To be human is to be able to play and think expansively, and like, what the fuck? What's fun about having one bucket and it's like, okay, your choices are bucket A and bucket B, and you got 80 years to fucking
You're gonna have
live.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P.
Yo, okay, social media, superhero. I'm down. Let's talk. Let's do it. I'm down. So Wednesdays, right? No. I could inbox you, but check out my Wednesdays live stream, right? Wednesdays live stream. I do call in, right? Call in for Wednesday. I do call in for Wednesdays, so I'm down. I am down for a debate. I'm down for debate. Let's debate about race. I'm down for it. I really am. So if you check out Wednesday's live stream, there will be a link for you to join in on live. Please do it. I'm down. I'm down to have a civil discourse, right? Respectful civil discourse. I'm down for it.
R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, and Z, but it doesn't matter, right? Because you can do what you want. If you want to wear a dress, a wig, Ozzy Osbourne did it a lot when Sharon stole his clothes, you can do that, it's totally fine, right? It's not illegal, but it's just not true. It doesn't make you a woman, right? If I paint my skin black and that derives me joy, great, but I'm still not black, right? Just like if a man wears a dress and a wig, he's not a woman. Even if it derives him joy.
It's really complicated, and I can't speak for every.
The problem I have, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the problem I have is that we constantly, you don't like that, so we're trying to now describe a woman as somebody in a dress, with hair, it looks pretty, soft skin and stuff like that. That is disrespectful to women. It is.
No, it's not. You think a woman wearing pants is disrespectful towards men?
No, but you saying all a woman is just wearing a dress.
Oh no, yeah. We'll definitely have a long form conversation. It's a conversation, right? I mean, it's a conversation between two respectful adults. Conversation between two respectful adults. So we will let each other have, back and forth, right? I will let you talk, get a point out, right? I'm definitely down for it, right? We will have talks of like, you will say a point of view, I will say a point of view, we'll just talk about it, right? It's not fighting, right? We're not fighting. We're having a conversation. We're debating a bit of ideas. So I'm definitely down.
Dress looking pretty, soft skin is.
That's.
In order for you to say that men can be women,
that,
you have to say that.
If they're saying that, it's because society has said that to be a woman is to be pretty, to be feminine.
No, I don't think so. So I think that women go through a lot. They menstruate, they bear children, they have other social struggles. Do you believe in like systemic racism? It's okay. I'm not going to argue on it. Yes. Yeah. Systemic racism, like black people are
I'm
oppressed.
just like nervous about this.
No, I'm not going to push you on systemic racism. I promise.
Okay, how about you say what you want to say?
Yeah, so I'm going to say is like, if you believe in systemic racism, like how would you feel about me taking on the identity of a black person when I'm not? And saying that just because I painted my skin brown, that makes me the same as them and all the struggles they've gone through, right? So if you believe that, this doesn't make sense, doesn't compute. I don't think that you can just throw on a dress and you're just as good and the same as a woman who's had to menstruate and bleed through their vagina their entire life since they were 12 or 14, right? I don't think that's the same. I don't think it confused.
It isn't the same. Okay, like, and I don't think I've met a trans woman who's like, I'm identifying as a cis woman. I identify as somebody who grew up and got her period and stuff like that.
If it's not the same, why would we let them into women's only spaces? So if there's exclusive
because
spaces
there's a lot of different type of women. And to
They're all
say
women, right? And this person is not a woman, right? If you're just wearing a dress and a wig and you're pretending to be a woman, you're not a woman. So why would we allow them into women exclusive spaces if you yourself say that they're not?
Yes, I'm telling you this, right? I'm not out here, right? Whatever my point of view is, I'm not here to, insult anyone, bag on anyone. I'm here to have a conversation. If we can't find a common ground, we agree to disagree. We agree to disagree. I like it where one person has one view, the other person have another view, and let the audience, right? The audience, the viewers decide whatever whatever view they find logical. That's what I want to do about it. I don't need to change your mind. You don't need to change my mind. All we do is talk, right? All we do is just talking to each other. I feel like this is the in my view right here, this is the main view that I believe it is so important for the Charlie Kirks of the world, for people like these, is just talk. And then let the audience, right? Because this is how it works right now. We are on social media. So we let the audience determine what they believe is right or wrong. We are not here to change anybody's point of views. Okay? I'm not trying to change your point of view. You're not, maybe not. Could you change my point of view? It's about, what does the audience think? What does the audience think is logical? That is what I want. What do you mean? What do you mean, laughing man? About history? Is that the topic? Because I don't know a whole lot about history, right? I'm not a big history buff. So I wouldn't debate anybody about history.
Or they're not the same. You said they're not the same.
just they're not the same in the same way that women, no woman is the same.
Well, I mean, like, Superhero said we'll debate about race. We will debate about race. I'm down to debate about race. I have very pointed views when it comes to race. So I want to debate about race. This one is a hard one because it's hard to hear.
Butch women. There's all types of women. There's women who might have genitalia that look like a penis, but grew up as a woman and got a period. Like, I just get frustrated.
We ask you to focus on the biological aspect of it rather than characteristics of it or...
it's just the question
I'm not a scientist.
What do all women have in common, though?
Like Katanji Brown said, the Supreme Court Justice, she couldn't identify what is a woman because she's not a scientist. I'm not a scientist either. I'm a guy wearing a MAGA hat that understands common sense or engages in common sense.
I think the whole idea be like...
You know what? What we could talk about, right? In my honest opinion, I don't believe there's systemic racism. Yes, well, I want to, because this is the thing where I don't believe there's systemic racism. I don't believe that racism is holding back the Black community. I believe the Black community is holding back themselves, right? I mean, Superhero, these are the topics that, you know what, you can debate me on, because these are my point of views. I believe the Black community is holding themselves back. I believe the Black community is suffering from a single mother epidemic. I believe the Black community lacks accountability. I believe the Black community promotes criminality. I believe the Black community does not care about their public image. They are fine with perpetuating stereotypes. I believe the belief of racism, the shackling yourself to the past is what's holding the Black community back, right? So yeah, I'm very stout on the things I think about.
That question: can you identify a woman?
As a
That
woman
is
or a woman? What do you mean?
Anybody. asking anybody identify what it is
Adult,
to be a
human,
woman.
female.
That is such a hyper simplified.
Hey, how about this? How about this? Explain to us, what is a woman?
What is a woman?
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself.
Sure. What is a woman?
Correct. This is a thing where, like, I love it. I love it. Let's now. This is the thing, right? People, stay tuned. Black superhero. This is a thing. We can debate that. Okay. Oh, we definitely can debate that. Yes, crime happens everywhere. True. But guess what? What community is complaining about? Outside factors, right? What community is complaining about outside factors holding them down? What community? Is white people complaining about, the government holding them down, or that they can't succeed because of because of the government, or, whatever? Are Asian people? This is the thing where let's hold. Come on, right? Hold. Make sure you have some thoughts, because this is the thing. Those are things we can debate about. I have some. I have some counters, right? I don't want to. Stay tuned, right? Wednesday's live stream will be a call-in show. Won't be. I'm gonna do different, right? It won't be a call-in show. It will be just a debate with me and superhero here. Maybe we'll add, I don't know, adding other people it made it kind of hard last time. So the beginning will me and superhero will debate on it.
I can't answer that because it's different for so many different type of people, and so I cannot.
I don't know. I'm not liking this one.
All right, you're good.
So the sign on the right says nobody should be killed
For their opinions.
over their opinions.
Yes.
So that is coming from what, your moral compass?
Yes.
What gives you the right to oppose your moral compass on others?
Yeah, so I'm not saying that I have a right to impose my moral compass on other people, but what I am doing is making the case for my set of morals to the best of my ability, and basically positing them or opposing them against you or anybody else who's here. So my personal belief is that every human individual ought to have the right not to be unjustly aggressed upon. I think that anytime you unjustly aggress upon a person, which would be anytime you touch, harm, or hurt another person or their property without their permission or without a first act of aggression, I think that that is wrong and immoral. So, like, for example, if I walk up to David and I punch him in the face, that's unjust aggression towards David. If David punches me in the face and I punch him back, that's self-defense. I'm justly aggressing him in response to his unjust aggression, and that's what guides most of my moral principles.
Can I ask you another question?
Absolutely.
Where are you getting that moral compass from? Where does that come from? Why do you think that?
It's the right, the non-aggression principle. That's where I'm not. If you're asking if I'm religious, I'm not religious. So
this is the thing where, for me, he's an unjust principle. I would say, for me, right, I use something that I'm trying to develop. Logical morality. I call it logical morality. I'm not religious. I call my morality, right? My morality, logical morality. So why would it be logical morality? Just think what he just said. Punching you in the face. I'm not gonna punch you in your face, because why? Logically, morally, it's bad. Morally, it's bad. But logically, I wouldn't want you to punch me in my face, right? So if I don't want to be punched in my face, why would I punch you in your face, right? That's the logical morality I'm trying to, establish. I've never heard anyone said it before, but I'm trying to push it along because I'm not religious, right? I'm not religious. So but I have more morals, so I kind of shape it to logical morality, in the sense that we as human beings are selfish. We are, as human beings, are selfish. So why would I want something bad be done on me? Right? Why would I want that? I wouldn't want that. So since I wouldn't want something bad done upon me, why would I do something bad upon you? Right? That's my logical morality.
I generally have found this principle, the non-aggression principle, to be, in my opinion, the most flawless.
Oh, really? Eddie, you live in the US before? That's really cool. The so-called black community in this country has always done what we have to do, regardless of what obstacles are placed in our way. We have a rich, strong lineage. Now, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Like, superhero, I said this before. I believe the black community is one of the coolest community around. I believe the black community is the coolest community around. I believe that. My grandparents didn't complain. My parents didn't complain, and I don't complain. That's amazing. I love that. This is the thing where this is why I'm liking you, right? I'm liking you, and I believe we will have a great conversation, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love black people. I love the black community. I think I work around the black community. I live in the black community. I've dated predominantly black women. My baby mom is black. As crazy as it is, my baby mom is black, right? I have black friends. So my viewpoint, I'm telling you this right now, my brother, right? Right? I view it as that my viewpoint isn't that I hate black people. My viewpoint is that I want the black community to succeed. I want the black community to succeed. I'm seeing the black community failing because of themselves, right? The black community is failing because of the black community. It's not because of the government. It's not because of white people, right? It's not because of anybody but the black community. That is why the black community is failing, okay? I love what Superhero said, right? My grandparents didn't complain. My parents didn't complain, and I don't complain. That is accountability. That is accountability. But here's the problem. That mindset is pockets, right? It's pockets of ideology, pockets of black people. It isn't the black community as a whole, in my opinion. My family is Buddhist. My family is Buddhist, right? My family is Buddhist. I'm not really religious, right? Growing up, religion hasn't really it's I don't know what I say. Religion has kind of failed me in a way. So I've kind of, again, a lot of men have walked away from religion. How many black people do I know? I mean, it's like, do I know personally? Maybe like, I don't know, 50, maybe 50. Do I surround myself with? I mean, like the place I work in, right? The place that I work in, I see hundreds of black people every week, right? Dozens, hundreds to dozens of black people every week. The place that I work in, I worked there for about 10 years or so. So over the decade, right? Over the decade that I've worked there alone, I've seen hundreds of black people. Now, again, it's my point of view, but why I say this is that, well, we see the results, right? We see the results in like what's happening with the black community. I mean, are they succeeding? Is the black community as a whole, are they succeeding? Are the black community as a whole, are they happy? Are they complaining? Or are they constantly talking about, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, this, I mean, maybe, right? Here's the thing. Maybe social media, social media, entertainment, even statistics are skewed. Maybe. But I don't think so.
Moral code. I think that it plays into essentially any situation related to morals. Why is stealing wrong? Well, stealing's wrong because stealing, theft of property, is unjust aggression. Why is abortion wrong? It's unjust aggression. Why is
murder wrong? Unjust aggression. Why is I don't know, name a crime, is unjust aggression. Why is slavery bad? It's unjust aggression.
Okay, so from my understanding, that's a very reactive or passive stance. So when it comes to someone who is the aggressor, you think, and I'm asking, there's no way that you should be proactive in stopping it? Like, you can see it, if you can see it coming, you shouldn't stop it?
No, because you cannot predict what other people are going to do, and therefore you cannot judge them for what you anticipate they're going to do, unless it's like this, right? Unless it's like this, where I'm like actively gonna, you can like see I'm swinging on David, right? But if I'm just espousing a belief and you think that belief is dangerous and could potentially lead to violence, you don't have a right to kill that person just because you think eventually the national progression of this ideal will lead to violence. I think leftists, the natural progression of their ideals will lead to violence. And that's not just because I think that, it's because they say it. They know that they need a violent revolution in order to institute socialism in the United States, otherwise it won't work. The Marxian view requires a violent revolution in order to institute. So I can't kill those people just because I know that.
Well, here's the thing where I've also lived around your people most of my life. Here's my superhero. You gotta think about this. I'm not necessarily using my own experience to dictate my point of views, right? Or to dictate my overall view. We see this right now. We see it right now. The black community is consistently complaining about racism. The black community is consistently and talking about the past, right? Slavery, redlining, Jim Crow, talking about the past in the present. For what? They're talking about it because they viewed it as white supremacy, as oppression, as the need for reparations. It's not me saying, oh, the people around me, because let me be honest, right? The black people around me, they're not complaining about the white man. I agree with that, right? That's the thing. The people around me is not complaining about the white man. They're not complaining about the government. They're not complaining about, they're not complaining about racism. I agree. I do agree. But here's the problem, right? We don't realize that the world, particularly the US, is bigger than me and you, right? Unless we, because here's the problem. Social media, TV, it reaches millions of people. That's the problem, right? My life, your life, even if we put it together, right? Even if we put my life and your life together, it doesn't equal even 1 million. It doesn't even equal 1 million. That's the problem. So the problem is our reach doesn't go that far. Okay, that's where I see things. Our reach, our influences, or our knowledge doesn't go that far. So what I use is honestly the social media as the catalyst of what I'm seeing in the world, in my opinion, right? But here's the thing, right? You say social media is not real, but again, here's the problem, right? So I can't agree, right? Social media is not real, but the problem is its effects can be real, right? Social media may not be real, but its effects can be. We have politicians, people with actual power, and social media vigilante, right? Literally, the man who killed Charlie Kirk, he got his information from social media. People get their information from social media. That's the thing, right? And here's the thing, like I said, politicians, people with actual power, people with actual influences, well, they are pushing out these ideology. Oh, white people are bad, racism, systemic racism, shit like this. That's the issue. That's the problem we're facing.
They want violence.
Okay, so my next question is,
so I'm going to take it out of the case.
At what point, like exactly, do you have the right to stop someone or be proactive, like you said? So right before someone kills him, you can tell they're about to kill him. Mm-hmm. Is that like?
Yeah, it's aggression, so it's like a threat, right? So if I swing on David but I miss, that's a threat. That's a threat of violence, right? So it's unjust aggression. So aggression, in this sense, is not just me yelling at David is not aggression in this sense.
But here's the problem: Charlie Kirk would say differ, right? Charlie Kirk would say differently. Sick minds do not equal reality. Well, I'm sorry, it does. It does. That's the problem we don't understand. I just said politicians, right? People with actual influences, people with actual power. They can affect you. They can affect the world around you. And here's the thing. Again, the person who killed Charlie Kirk, he didn't know Charlie Kirk from a lick of dirt. He got all of his information thanks to social media, right? That's how most kids, most young adults absorb their information. That is a sad reality that we're facing. And here's the thing. I'm an old man, right? I'm an old man. So I was here before YouTube, social media, before internet. I was here during dial-up, the start of dial-up, right? Dial-up. I was here during the start of dial-up, okay? So that's the difference where I know, yes, the problem is we don't see how strong, how powerful social media is. It's making people think that the white man is putting down the black community. The government is putting down the black community. Everyone hates the black community. Everyone is putting down the black community. And that is a detriment. That is dangerous. That is hurting the black community.
It would be deemed an aggressive act, like in the colloquial sense, but
no. I'm not saying that I'm not saying Charlie Kirk had anything to do with social media, right? I'm not talking Charlie Kirk had anything to do with black people. I'm saying social media has an effect over people, right? That's what I'm saying. Okay, social media has an effect over people. So imagine this, right? You're a young black person. You're a young black person. As a young black person, you are always absorbing social media. You're always online. You're always absorbing content. So if your content is always, white people are racist, 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 white people are racist. You think that in the real world now you think about, oh, you know what? White people are racist. That's the problem. Oh, white people are putting you down. It's because of white people that you can't succeed. It's because of white people you can't succeed. It's because of white people you can't succeed. So when you go out into the real world, you have that mindset. That's what I mean, right? I'm not necessarily, I didn't mean that Charlie Kirk is because of black people. No, I'm saying what sad reality, social media, TV, all these entertainment, they affect our human brains, particularly young adults.
Aggression in this sense means violence or threat of violence.
Yeah, so my main question, is that at what point can
Lewis, what's up? What's up?
you be proactive? Like you could be the aggressor instead of the reactor in terms of if you see
the just aggressor. You could be the just aggressor if somebody's threatening. You could be the just aggressor if somebody is actively attacking you or threatening to attack you in a credible way.
Like self-defense, right? Like self-defense, you would agree that's just aggression.
Yeah. So, but if you are protecting someone else, is that considered just aggression?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. For sure, yeah. If you're protecting somebody else that you're like, but I think there has to be a degree of observation. Like, I've actually done this, right? Like one of my colleagues.
Glad you're here. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother, for joining.
Katie Davis Court was being chased down by Antifa militants in Seattle, and she was chased into an intersection. This is just a little.
And I agree, superhero, right? Like you said, I prefer to live my life in real life, right? I go out, interact with people, and learn about them. I agree. And like I said, right? In real life, in real world, I'm surrounded by black people. None of them are complaining about the white man, right? None of them are complaining about racism. I 100% agree. The issue is that I'm talking about online. That's it, right? I'm talking about the online rhetoric. I'm talking about the online pushing, the propaganda. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about the pushing of propaganda online. That's what I'm talking about.
Like small woman, right?
Yes, I agree. Social media is toxic. It's very toxic. Yes, much the same way that if you're a young white man and you're on social media and all, I agree. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. This is a problem where, imagine this, right? Social media paints negative images of black people, right? Social media paints a negative image of black people. Black people stealing, black people doing this, black people. Of course, you're going to have a bad image of black people. I agree. I think it's a dangerous thing.
And I had to pepper spray them to defend her, right? Because I could see the threat against her. She was chased into an intersection, oncoming traffic, et cetera, et cetera. I think there has to be a level of observation. I think you have to actually watch something go down physically and then respond in the moment. But what I don't think you can do is, like, if I punch David right now and then I walk away and then tomorrow David sees me.
Exactly. Evil Eddie said echo chambers are dangerous. And I've said this before, okay? I will continue to always say this. I promote, do not agree with me on 100%. I want to promote my brothers, right? My brothers. I consider all of you who are watching me, who follow me, who support me, my brothers. I encourage my brothers. You don't need to, or you shouldn't agree with me on everything, right? If we can't find common ground, at least we can agree to disagree. I will respect you 100% on your opinions. I respect all my brothers 100% on their opinions. That's just it. This is why I said I'm not here to promote an echo chamber. I put my views on and I tell you, what do you guys believe? Right? If you guys believe it, then tell me. This is why I want to start that. That's why I'm trying to start the whole Wednesday's panel shows, because again, we can all have our viewpoints. We can all, talk about how we feel. I don't like sushi either. I don't like sushi either, but
And he shoots me with a gun. He doesn't have the right to, you know what I mean? The time has passed. He's no longer under threat.
Okay, I have another question.
Absolutely.
So, would it be fair to argue that, like you said, the liberals, conservatives, they're using violence to incite socialism? Would it be fair to say that that is a type of just aggression from their perspective?
Wait, what do you mean? Say again.
Like, they're using violence to promote socialism, like you said, right?
Uh-huh.
From their perspective, could that be seen as just aggression?
No, because I think it's abstract, right? Again, like you have to. This is self-defense, right? So you have to.
But
I'm not
objectively.
You could like this. Where this rabbit hole will ultimately lead is like whether or not capitalism is bad, which ultimately isn't the argument. I think that's where it would ultimately go. If somebody is like actively oppressing other people, if somebody's actively oppressing people and has them in chains, then I think. Yes, ultimately you can like justly aggress that institution that's oppressing people back. And I don't want to get into the specific, like the moral argument of whether or not capitalism or socialism is good, because it's going to lead us down like a long rabbit hole. But yeah, sure, fine. I would say that can be a form of just aggression if you rebel against like an unjust government, for example.
So to understand your point of view, what you're saying is it could be said that from their perspective it's just aggression, but from your perspective, what they're doing is not just aggression. Is that
yeah,
correct?
absolutely. Yeah, I don't believe that they are acting justly in aggression.
So would you say that you guys are just
no, I wouldn't say like, so for example, right here, so generally those, like what leftists are trying to rebel against is like the government, right? Because they believe the government is oppressing them, right? There's a difference between aggressing against an unjust government and trying to prevent oppression and gunning a man down in broad daylight sitting behind a table just like this one because he had a difference of opinion. Charlie Kirk never hurt anybody. Charlie Kirk wasn't oppressing anybody. Charlie Kirk went to college campuses and he invited his opposition to come have conversations with him. He taught his followers. He preached to his followers, show the people on this campus the respect that they don't show us. Do not be disrespectful to them. Do not boo them. Do not laugh at them. Do not ridicule them. Show them what we don't get. And there are clips of him doing and saying this. He loved the people who disagreed with him. He believed that they were God's creation and that everyone should love them. And that's who Charlie Kirk was. And he was gunned down in broad daylight because people didn't like his opinions, not because he was oppressing anybody.
I want you to look behind you. You see that tall building with a GSU on there? Mm-hmm. Somebody was sitting at a building like this because people like us sit behind a table like this expressing our positions and was gunned down for that. Right? He's not some political authority. He's not a member of Congress that can enact his positions. He was simply going to campuses and laying out his position in a very civil and tolerant way. So there's no, in my opinion, I don't see a way to justify that, even if you're on the socialist side or communist side and you believe that this is a fascist that is trying to oppress you. There's no justification for it. It seems to me what they wanted to do is end Charlie Kirk's movement because he's a very effective individual. Yeah, I mean, there's really no justification for it.
So, I hear what you're saying, and I'm just trying to understand. So, you believe that there's no justification for the killing of Charlie Kirk, but the people, I'm seeing a lot of rhetoric from the opposite side saying that it was just. And your whole argument is just that.
And how is it? There's no justification. There's zero. Like, seriously, you have no justification for murdering a man out in broad daylight. What the hell is that?
It's Greece. That's on.
No, you're good.
You're
Just
good.
make sure
Sorry,
this
I'm
isn't
listening.
It's not blown out.
Just start again. So the one side is justifying the murder.
They're justifying it, like they have the justification for it. I guess you can say on the conservative, liberal, democratic side, like.
Conservatives are justified.
Sorry, liberal, not conservative. Liberal.
Okay, like left leaning.
Yeah, on the left side, like they are saying that it's a justified killing, but you're saying it's not a justified killing. So how can you determine what is just and what is not? Because he said it's about the aggression, right?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what I said. Charlie Kirk was not unjustly aggressing anybody. He wasn't harming anybody. And also,
but they would argue that he was aggressing through his rhetoric. And they said it was like harmful. Words to harm.
Yeah, I would say sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words can never hurt me. Somebody's not unjustly aggressing you. Again, unjust aggression is physical violence because they're saying things that you don't like. Or you feel offend people in some emotional way.
And that's the fucking thing, right? This is why I said this before. I hate the fucking left. I hate the fucking left. If you are, I'm sorry, right? I mean, I'm not saying all, of course. I'm not saying all, but more than likely, if you are on the left, you are fucking weak. You are weak against words. You are weak. I'm sorry. These are I think the left are fucking are the geeks and nerds, right? The geeks and nerds that couldn't grow up, that couldn't get over the how they felt when they were kids. And this is the thing. This is coming from a geek, right? That's coming from a geek. I mean, that's the thing. These are geeks and nerds and like the weirdos and the offshoots and the mentally unstable who felt when they were young the world was against them, the world bullied them and shit like that. But they couldn't persevere. They couldn't get back up. So now that they're adults, they blame anyone for whoever says shit that they don't like. Now, because they're adults, they're gonna bring violence to it. Because they're just weak. You're weak to words. Words, it's like, I'm not saying that words aren't powerful, but words should not enact violence. If you're gonna cry because I just yelled at you, then you're fucking weak. That's it. But it's fine. You're weak. But if you're gonna cry when I say shit to you and then shoot me for it, you are monstrously weak and you are a disgusting human being.
Right. And I also want to say real quick before you go into your next point, I really appreciate how respectful you're being, and I really appreciate how respectful the audience is being, and this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I understand that they can make the claim that Charlie Kirk is a fascist, but that doesn't make him a fascist, right? I can call you racist, right? That doesn't make you racist. So just them calling Charlie Kirk fascist doesn't justify going out and conducting a political assassination at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's arbitrary, right? Like, who's deciding that he's actually a fascist?
That is exactly the point that I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like you said, it's arbitrary. Even the concept of just and unjust, there's a divide. It's arbitrary. So
I believe it's rooted in actual law, right?
In law that humans create?
Yeah.
Who decides the law?
Well, it's a combination of everything. It's common law. It's also based on religious law.
Humans make? Yeah, fucking humans make. Who made it too? Are you talking about animals? The fuck? Do we not live in a civilized civilization? Do we not live in a civilized nation?
So there's right, like, I shouldn't be able to just kill you just because I want to kill you. We used to do that thousands of years ago.
I think that laws, whether I know a lot of people don't like this, but laws are ultimately based on the morals of whoever's writing them and whoever's voting on them. Okay, and so I think what we have to do, and exactly what we're doing today, is arguing for whose morals are the best morals and whose morals basically stand up against everybody else's and are more logically consistent and logically sound. And that's what we have to do, because ultimately morality dictates law, and everybody has a different set of morality and or of morals, right? And so you have to go out and talk to people. If you feel that you have the better set of morals, it's not a, if I feel I have a better set of morals than you, which I do, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're an immoral person. It just means you think differently than me, and that's totally okay. But it's an absolute necessity that we talk about it and figure out who's actually right, because I'm sure you probably think your morals are better than mine.
And that's what, exactly. This is what thing. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Right? Let's have a battle of ideas. Have a battle of ideas. That's what we need more of.
And so I'm trying to summarize your point. So
I really appreciate both of you being here.
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to see you going out and living in Charlie's name, promoting free speech and
Come a little closer to the mic.
exchange of ideas. I think that what happened to Charlie was really devastating, no matter what side you come from. No matter what side you come from, what you think. He was a father, 2 beautiful kids, and a wife. And I don't think anyone should ever be killed for their ideas.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you a conservative or do you lean more liberal?
Honestly, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the political compass because I think it's very categorical.
Do you more so like? I mean, and this is nothing against you. I just find it like if you're more like liberal leaning, I find it very interesting and also very.
I would say I'm a modern conservative, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Honestly, in recent events after what happened to Charlie Kirk, and I've been following you on Instagram for a
Thanks,
while.
I appreciate it.
And if you remember,
Famous in the South.
I'm famous
in the South.
if you remember before the day of Charlie Kirk, it was the murder of Arinya on the bus, very tragic.
Yeah.
And I can't help but feel that these are definitely somewhat radicalizing and almost solidifying of my beliefs.
Yeah, and I think there's something interesting about both. I think that Irina's death was caused by a failure of Democrats, not leftists, I guess Democrats are liberals, but a failure of Democrat politicians, specifically in law enforcement. The failure to lock people who need to be locked up, the failure to keep them in jail. And by the way, I live in Seattle, and I get attacked all the time, and those people go to jail for a couple hours, and then they get released every time. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the fact that her attacker was black, because all of the people who attack me in Seattle and get released 2 hours later, they're all white, all of them, right? They all are crazy white leftists, and they attack me and they belong in prison, but they don't stay. And so I think that's a failure there. And Democrats have really tried to warp this Charlie Kirk assassination into a thing about gun control. But the fact of the matter is, if you've seen it, the rifle that Charlie Kirk was killed is not a rifle that anyone is trying to ban. It is a bolt-action, single-fire, scoped hunting rifle. Nobody is trying to ban this rifle. In fact, the argument that Democrats always use is you don't need an AR-15 to kill a deer. What do you need? You need a .308 bolt-action hunting rifle, right? That's what they always say. You don't need anything more than that. Well, that's all it took to kill Charlie Kirk. Nobody's trying to ban that gun. Rifles, you're more likely to be struck by lightning in this country than you are to be shot and killed by a rifle. Rifles account for almost like the smallest portion of gun deaths. Pistols account for the most. I think shotguns are either right above rifles or right below. I don't remember. Just look at the Universal Crime Reporting Database, Table 8.
Handguns are the most dangerous. But who's banning handguns, right? Who's gonna ban handguns? I mean, like, seriously.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming up. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Is it catching my voice?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. So I know that you're a GSU alumni, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kinda. Well, I went to GSU.
Okay. I'm just a little curious. I want to get to know you a little bit more. So, before we jump into the political discussion, what major were you?
Political science.
Interesting. I'm actually poli-sci myself.
Very nice.
Pre-law. I'm doing public health as well.
Great. That's awesome. Political science is great, I think.
Political science is great.
Just don't let the professors indoctrinate you. Hold to your position.
Actually...
Or influence you.
I get what you're saying, but also I feel like, at least this is my experience in college, is... Now, I'm pretty sure there are professors out there who will try to skew you one way or the other, but at least with the professors that I have had at GSU, they usually allow for open discussion. Like, literally last Thursday in my political science research method class, our entire class was just talking about Charlie Kirk. He was talking about, my professor was talking about his death and asking us about the morality principle around it, and eventually he wrapped it up by saying just political violence and murder is just wrong.
Great. I'm glad that there's professors like that on college universities, even at Georgia State University. I've had a similar experience, whether it's Georgia State University, University of North Georgia, where my professors were balanced, right? I've had people that were objective, allowed for political discourse, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. They weren't biased, they weren't grading my papers terribly, but I wish I could tell you that was the case entirely. I took a class that was critical race theory, and of course I'm going to oppose critical race theory. I'm going to deny objectively the various arguments that Kimberly Crenshaw or Carol Anderson will make in their books. But my professor he accepted that ideology. For him, it wasn't a theory anymore. So anybody that opposed that, he would ridicule. He would allow the class to join to ridicule it. Seriously, being serious, I don't like an echo chamber. What if I agree with everything or even half of it? If we completely oppose each other, one, we should be able to hold a public discussion without fear of life or anything happening to us. Second of all, that is the that's the principle of America, right?
True. Yeah, that's the principle of America is freedom of speech. And another thing is, yes, I was saying my political views are complete opposite. Like I would describe myself. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a socialist, but I'm like borderline. Like not that far. Like I'm not that far.
And do you feel like prior to starting school, were you a little bit more moderate? Is it through your classes you became a little bit more radical and pushed?
Yeah,
or were you
100%.
always on this balance
Thank you, I
between
appreciate it.
one foot on
Yeah.
socialist, one foot still a little bit, I guess,
100%.
liberal? Let's call it that.
Honestly, I started doing.
Yeah, thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
I always have read a little bit like high level, so I really started doing not political research, but reading stuff and learning about events. Probably starting like 8th grade.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's just I'm weird that way. So
No, that's not weird. That's it. You're ahead of the game. That's what it is.
So I always have actually always been a little bit more on the liberal side. Like even when I was in high school, I was always on a little bit more on the liberal side. Now have I gotten more and more towards socialism as I move through high school? Yes.
What attracts you towards socialism?
The socialism part, at least, what attracts me is the ability to have people be supported. I feel like a lot of the problems in America,
Keep our stuff all
especially
consolidated.
disparities, could be solved.
I'm sure the crowd
if we
will
not only
grow.
allow people access to care, but allow them access to jobs and stuff like that.
Well, I just want to counter that real quickly. I can be
Yeah,
more
just zip up the
opposed
cloth
to
over
universal
things.
health care, simply for the fact that if you're going to institute universal health care and give 300 and something million Americans free health care overnight, some people don't know if they want to do it overnight, over a period of years, whatever. Okay, well, you'll have a bunch of people overnight, let's say, having free health care. They're going to go and line up at all these hospitals, and there's going to be a bunch of wait times, 8 months, 9 months, 12 months, 16 months. Here's the other thing. Okay, we can fix that problem with infrastructure. So we're going to build the hospitals first, all this stuff, and then give health care? Fine. Then tell me the cost for that. How much does it cost to make this all happen in the first place? It's about $4 trillion a year just to cover universal health care before building the infrastructure everywhere, right? So that's the problem I have with, I don't want to call you a socialist, but with socialists. They advocate for these utopian ideas, but they don't even take the second step to calculate how much is it going to cost us. And you're going to...
Yeah, this is the thing where I don't... You know, when Bernie Sanders was running, this is when I was like very... Yeah. I mean, like, no. Like Evil Eddie said, right? Canada has free healthcare. It's free, but you most times die before you see a doctor. This is the thing where I lived, right? I lived in the UK. I vacationed in the UK. I have, my baby mom is in the UK. So I understand the free healthcare thing. She's complained about it so many times, right? The wait time. I had to send her money. To go see a doctor. Right? So what was the point? I literally had to send her money to go see a doctor so she can see a doctor right away. That's the problem. That's the insanity. So that means, what was the point of free healthcare? Right? I mean, like, maybe if you need, I don't know, fucking over-the-counter Tylenol or shit like that, but that's nothing, right? If you need allergy allergy meds, okay. But again, I don't think the America has the infrastructure for socialism. I don't think so, because again, like I said, back before I was I was a Democrat. Back when Bernie Sanders was trying to run for president, I was really backing Bernie Sanders. Free healthcare, free college, all that shit. It sounds so amazing, right? Socialism and all that shit. But it's like, after Bernie Sanders lost or they didn't support him, and I started learning about this. Like, you know what? That isn't that great of an idea, because where's that money coming from? Where's that money going to come from?
Say, I know the response. It's like, well, we're going to just tax the rich. At some point, you don't have enough taxes to actually pay for all the stuff that you want, because it doesn't stop for healthcare, right? And then it goes to education, then it goes to housing. The healthcare is $4 trillion just for the healthcare part of it. That's the problem I have with socialism. It's a great idea. Don't get me wrong. Internally, in my heart, it sounds beautiful. But when we put it in practice, it's not realistic. And I'll say this: my parents coming from USSR, these ideas have led to authoritarian figures completely seizing control of any individual freedoms in the state, and that's led to millions and millions of people dying. So it actually did the opposite.
Didn't your grandfather have to spend time in the Gulag?
Yeah. Can you imagine that? 6 years in the Gulag in USSR. You may agree with his religious point, right? But he was just spreading religion, Zionism.
And furthermore, like the USSR, I don't know if you're a tankie, you're probably not, but a lot of tankies cite like the USSR, and they talk about like the USSR lifted so many people out of poverty. They solved homelessness, I hear tankies say. The USSR solved homelessness by taking all of the homeless people and putting them in gulags. That's how they solved homelessness. There was no homeless people anymore because they were all in prison.
Of course. And I actually do know that. Actually, I'm Chinese, so I come from. Well, I wasn't born in China.
Mhm.
I was born in Hong Kong,
Mhm.
and my grandparents, on both sides of my family, went through Mao Zedong. So I have learned from them how horrible it is. So I understand when you take it too far, or when you start. I understand your point that socialism could be taken too far to a point where they start seizing all individual freedom, and that's where I get that worry and I get that concern, and that's why I always think that with socialism, it's one of those things where we should have regulation on how government works and what their powers are, and we just need to make sure they're not exceeding those powers. Like, personally, when I took the political compass test, I was left libertarian. So I'm so very much socially liberal, I am, because the political compass, when they said left libertarian, what they mean by libertarian is socially liberal, so not like in your traditional sense.
I mean, that's not necessarily what libertarian means. Libertarian generally means that you want the government to have the least amount of power possible, which is what I am. I'm a right-wing libertarian. I don't think that left-wing libertarianism exists. I don't think that it's a thing, because having a left-wing view, left and right is an economic axis. You have like anarcho-capitalism on the furthest end, and then you have communism or socialism. Marx uses them interchangeably on the farthest end of the left. You can't have socialism without authority. It's a core necessity for the ideal to be enforced. So, like, for example, I've talked to some anarcho-communists, and you were just talking about how you have to prevent the government from getting all this power, which is virtually impossible in a situation where the government is the only people with the power. You've abolished money. You've abolished private ownership. Nobody has anything except what the government gives them. They're the elitists now. They're in charge. So it happens every time they try communism. It happened in China with Mao. It happened in the USSR with Lenin, Stalin, etc.
I don't understand some of these people who promotes these, socialism and all these Marxists, all these fucking ideologies. Like, seriously, you live in America. The freedoms that you have right now, okay, that you are enjoying right now, is thanks to current American ideology, capitalism, a republic, right? How America is right now, you are literally enjoying the fruits of this labor. So to want all these other communism, socialism, all these fucking other, governmental ideologies is actually very stupid. It is insanely stupid in my opinion, but I don't know. I just think it breeds stupidity in my opinion. But it is what it is. All right, guys, it's 11, right? It's 11. It's about. I try not to make the stream so crazy long. I just wanted to check out them out more. I'm going to try to watch more of them because I like these. I like these kind of discourse. I like these. You go into campuses because I want to support it, right? I want to support it, so I want to check it out. Their setup is still very low quality right now, but I get it, right? They're starting a kind of a grassroots shit, so I get it. Please like the stream. Please like the stream. Yes, thank you, my brother. Yeah, time for bed. We all gotta get to bed. I'm tired too, right? I got off of work and boom, straight to streaming. So because I love you guys, right? You guys are my brothers. So I wanted to hang out. I want to hang out with my brothers after work and before I go to sleep. So that's what I'm doing, right? So thank you guys for hanging out, right? Eddie, my brother, I love you. Superhero, hope you join the Wednesday live stream, okay? So that'll be fun. Laughing Man, thank you. Yeah, sleep well, my brother. Sleep well. Anyone else? GR, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, my brother. I have Jamie J. Thank you, my brother, for joining. Lewis, thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining, right? I love you guys. So hope I see you guys